Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I've been breaking my head on what exactly is happening with certain fragrances, because some of these fragrances, right, they have a huge fan following and they smell really nice on paper. Um, but on my skin, they turn like they smell a bit different, and I understand that this is due to the skin chemistry and all that. Different people have different skin chemistry, but I used to wonder what exactly is the reason behind the skin chemistry, and I think I'm slowly trying to understand what is it, and uh, why some fragrances react differently and smell differently on different people, right? So I think I've still not completely understood this thing yet, but I thought maybe I'll just put out a video. So like of my current understanding as to what could be the reason. So that's two things that I found. Like one is this skin type, right? The skin type basically it's called what is this Fitzpatrick scale. So it basically is it classifies how Caucasian or how dark skinned you are. So as you can see here, you have these many different types. You have type 1, type 2 till type 6. So starting from the very light skin, like the blonde, blue eyes, green eyes, that type of skin, the Scandinavians and whatnot. Slowly it goes to type 6. So this could be a better picture. So it says how sensitive the skin is to the sun, and how easily the skin gets tanned or gets sunburnt, things like that. So this is something interesting that I found, and I think I fall under this type 5 category, or maybe type 6, or somewhere between the two. Skin never burns or freckles in the sun, always stands darkly. Maybe type 5, I guess. Dark brown skin tone, dark brown eyes, dark brown or black hair, skin always stands in the sun, very rarely burns. Okay, so this is one classification. I'm not sure. I'm not saying this is the reason. I'm saying this is one type of classification that I found while I was searching for this. And there's another one, skin type. This classification is based on how dry or how oily your skin is. So the dry skin usually is like kind of flaky and scaly, and the oily skin, it's always oily and greasy, and there's something in between. There's a combination skin, and there's normal skin which has the right balance between the two, and there's sensitives and hyperpigmented. And these two, I think they are I think these four are the classification, the basic classification, and sensitive and hyperpigmented is I think just an additional type that they have added. The sensitive and hyperpigmented could be again like under these four skin types, because you can have a dry skin and still be sensitive. You can have an oily skin and still, that kind of classification. So I have a feeling. I'll tell you guys what is happening with my skin on some fragrances. So let me know if we can relate to this. So let's go through some fragrances that I find really that I like smelling on test strip, but for some reason different smell when I try it on my. And before we go and look at it, I will tell you something that is unique to my body. So my body is a very oily skin. I have a very oily skin. It's like shiny, greasy looking, most likely to have visible enlarged pores. I don't know about that, but I have a very oily skin. On top of that, I have this condition called hyperhidrosis, excessive sweating. Like you can see this picture here. So when I was young, I used to get this kind of sweat. Like you can't even, like in school days, I can't even write on a piece of paper with an ink pen, because it blots, like it completely blots. So I had this. I still have this, and I checked with the doctor a few years back, and he said one in I think maybe 10,000 people or something like that, they have this condition. And it's the reason behind is your sweat glands secrete excessive sweat. I don't know why. And on top of that, my body is a very the average temperature of my body is always relatively higher than the ones around me. If you say, for example, if you try to feel my hand, right, you would find it hot, as in you find it warmer than your body, and you think maybe I'm not feeling well or something. But that's how my body temperature normally is. So all of these things put together, let's go ahead and look at what happens with some of these fragrances that I like on paper. For some reason, I get different experience when I try it on my skin. So what I've understood is fragrances that have at least one gourmand note, right? Like maybe vanilla or cacao or those types, they become completely gourmand on my skin. I think it doesn't. I have a feeling it doesn't happen to everybody, and I'll tell you what I mean. So let's move this to last. So this one. So what I mean is this fragrance here, is such a beautifully blended fragrance. It smells very upscale. It smells a bit green and barbershoppy. When I smell it in the air, which I love. It's such a beautiful barbershop scent on paper. But what happens on my skin? This cacao and I don't know, this cacao. I'm not sure. It starts to smell like condensed milk. I'm not sure why. Like this could be. I'm just trying to understand whether it could be because of my oily skin, or probably because I'm hyperhidrotic. So the two different conditions here. One of these two is playing a role in making these fragrances smell gourmand on my skin. So I really love the skin on the air. It's such a beautiful barbershop fragrance, very upscale and very unique, and I can imagine how it would smell on a normal skin, but on me it smells like condensed milk. And I think the reason is because of my oily skin, although I'm not sure. I need to. So this oily skin and this hyperhidrosis, two things, they play two different roles. I have a feeling. So this hyperhidrosis, what happens? It the top notes and the middle notes, they don't last on my skin that long. I've noticed that as well. So that could be due to the hyperhidrosis, because maybe they get washed away with the excessive sweat that I have. And since the base notes are a bit heavy, they stick around, and then I can smell the base notes. And I've also noticed that fragrances that have either leather or wood or what else, vetiver, those kind of heavy notes, right? They last well on my skin, maybe because it is tough to, probably because of the hyperhidrotic nature of my skin, because the other notes, they get washed away very fast, but the base notes remain on my skin. So this is one fragrance that I really like, but smells like condensed milk on my skin. The next one is Valentino Uomo. This is another nice fragrance that I really like. In the air, it smells nice, powdery. Warm. It's a beautiful smelling fragrance. This is Valentino Uomo. But on my skin, it starts to smell like a biscuit. So this could be due to the hazelnut and chocolate, or I don't know, roasted coffee or whatever. But you get what I mean, right? If a fragrance has at least one gourmand note or aspect, it on my skin acts as if it's a completely gourmand fragrance, or maybe the oil in my fragrance is cooking these gourmand notes and creating a recipe on my skin. What else can I say? So I think my body is more like a stove. So if you put some gourmand notes in it, starts to cook the ingredients, and then gives out some kind of a recipe. And my body temperature, I think it only adds a value, or it kind of acts as a catalyst to this process. And there's another fragrance, this one, Cedra Boise. I like this fragrance on paper. It's a nice pineapple, citrus, and all that. On my skin, it becomes creamy, leather. Yeah, leather. The leather comes out. Leather is very prominent on my skin. Leather, and maybe some lemon and bergamot and whatnot, and then vanilla. So again, because of this leathery aspect of it, the leather doesn't go well with the citrus. Like I'm not getting any of these middle notes at all. But I can imagine how it would smell on a normal skin. It would smell really classy, right? It's a beautiful fragrance. So this is what I mean, and I'll tell you show you some other fragrance. Okay, so this one, Aquari Geo Profumo. I don't have it. I sold it off because it started to smell like eucalyptus on my skin. Now, I'm not sure. Eucalyptus, like a watery eucalyptus. That's what I remember smelling. So I think it could be patchouli and the sea notes. Because I don't see any, like, other notes I'm not sure if it is can contribute to the eucalyptus smell. I don't know. Incense maybe. So, and this is one other fragrance I don't have right now, Baccarat Rouge. It smells really wonderful on my skin. It doesn't smell too oily, sorry, too sweet or anything, as some people point out. On me, it smells like a very transparent, uh, sweet. I don't get any fir resin. I think it could be ambergris. It's like a transparent ambergris is what I smell, and it it's not very sweet. It's not very thick. It's not very, but it lasts a really long time. That's what I've noticed. And I think this Baccarat Rouge it works. It suits my personality as well, because it's a very approachable and inviting scent. That's what I've noticed, because I'm a bit of a reserved personality. So it kind of complements my personality. So generally, people don't like they don't find me very approachable, I guess, but that's just my personality. So I'm planning to experiment more on this fragrance and see how, the outlook, the people outlook of others, whether it has any impact on others outlook of me. So I need to experiment more on that, but it's a beautiful fragrance. So, to summarize, what I'm trying to say is your skin type, like how oily or dry it is, it and it plays a vital role in how your fragrance smells on your skin. And I have a feeling the perfumers, the perfume houses, and in these perfume companies, they create fragrance. I'm not sure if they test fragrances on all different skin types. uh, Predominantly, I have a feeling that they make fragrances for normal skin. Not They don't focus much on people with a dry or oily skin. I think they create fragrances predominantly for normal skin. That is what my current understanding is. uh, and that could be the reason why some fragrances are a hit and some fragrances, they don't work as much as they expect. One good example is Blue de Chanel. Blue de Chanel on my skin, it doesn't. I think it doesn't work, because I tried testing it, both the eau de toilette and the parfum and the eau de parfum, all three variants of it. But there's something about my skin that gives me this vomiting sensation when I apply Blue de Chanel. I'm not sure what in the note breakdown is causing that. Which of the note in the note breakdown is causing that? Well, it's there's nothing to dislike about this fragrance as far as the notes are concerned. But something in this is vomit inducing on my skin. I'm still trying to understand that. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Have you experienced anything similar to what I've just discussed here? What is your skin type? Let me know. And what fragrances that you like on your skin? Please leave a comment so that I can get a better understanding of how fragrances work. There's one other fragrance that I want to point out. This one. Abercrombie and Fitch authentic. Authentic man. This one. So this fragrance, it is such a beautiful fragrance. Some people, I think, they compare it to Aventus. It's such a beautiful fragrance. I had this. I gave it away to one of my friends, and this one, it didn't last as long on my skin, but on my friend's skin, it lasts really long time. And this, I think, it could be due to the fact that my skin is hyperhidrotic. So if you see the fragrance, it's predominantly a citrus based fragrance, right? There's nothing heavy in this fragrance. So everything is like look at this, the base. You don't have leather, you don't have vanilla, you don't have oud, none of the heavy base notes. Even though it's a base notes are there, they are like light base notes. So such fragrances, they don't last on my skin, but on my friend's skin, and they smell slightly differently as well, because I think the oily nature of my skin, it um, amplifies some fragrance notes, and if your skin is normal, this would project much better than on an oily skin, is what I've observed. Okay, I think video is getting a bit too lengthy. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Let me know what you think about the skin type, and yeah, leave a comment, please. Thank you. Bye bye.